Welcome to this channel. So in this video you can see this Benelli has come for some problem, and this is basically not a common problem found in all the super bikes, but the problem that we are addressing with this bike is probably the first one. We have never addressed any such issues in past. So what is happening with this bike is when you start the bike, when you turn on the bike, so what is happening with this bike is when you start the bike and when you run the bike for a few minutes, the exhaust vent pipe, one of the exhaust vent pipe, it turns into red. It becomes very hot and it turns into red. So we need to figure out why this is basically happening with this bike, and we have to find out the root cause of this problem. So possible causes of this to happen is first is the lean mixture. When I say lean mixture, that means there is more air going in the combustion chamber than the fuel. So this basically can happen because of the clogging of one of the injectors. So we need to figure out that and fix that issue. So that is the first possibility. Another possibility could be if one of the spark plug or the ignition coil is also faulty, or if it is malfunctioning, then this also happens because the combustion is not proper, and ultimately the exhaust manifold or the exhaust pipe turns into red. It becomes hot and then it turns into red. So we need to figure out that. So we are going to take out the fuel tank cover, we are going to take out the fuel tank, we are going to take out the air filter box, and then we are going to check the throttle body, and we are going to then inspect each and every spark plug and the coil. So keep watching this video, and probably it will help you and understand better how the combustion or what goes wrong when the pipe turns red. So it will be an interesting video for you guys. So if you have any doubts or the comments, please write down in the comment section below. We will get back to you shortly. Thank you. So we have taken out the side panels. Now we are taking out the tank panel. So this panel will come off, and then we are taking out the fuel tank and air filter box, and then the spark plugs. So now we are taking out the tank cover. So here is the tank. Below this tank there is an air filter box, and below that there is a throttle body. So we have disconnected the fuel pipe, fuel connections and the electrical connections, and now the tank is coming off from the bike. And like I said before, here is the air filter box, and we have to take out the air filter box also, and then we will be checking we are taking out the spark plug, and then we are going to check the ignition coil. So that's the air filter box, and this is the throttle body. We are taking out that pipe, and if you look at this closely, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are 4 spark plugs. So we are going to check each and every plug. We are taking out the cover. So we are taking out the spark plug now. So that's the condition of the spark plug. We have just taken out the plug from the bike. So like I said initially, if the plug is malfunctioning, or if it is there is an issue with the current, or if it is a lean mixture that is happening in the combustion chamber, this issue occurs. So on the right hand side you will see the plug that we have taken out from the cylinder, which is running fine, and on the left hand side you will see the plug which has almost turned white. It's not completely white, but it has just started to malfunction, and customer has not ridden the bike for a long. So we are checking the current also of both the plugs in the spark plug testing machine, and then we will be figuring it out. So as you can see, I'll just show you closely. So we checked all the 4 plugs. We have taken out all the plugs. So all 4 plugs are functioning well. Now we'll have to check the ignition coil. If ignition coil is malfunctioning or if it is short, then it will not fire in one of the plugs. So we'll see and we'll update you that also. Now the next step is we have checked all the 4 plugs, and all 4 plugs are here in a good shape. We have checked the current also, and now it's time to check the ignition coil or the spark plug coil. First we are going to check the spark plug coil. So we have taken out the spark plug coil, and with the help of multimeter we are checking the coil. So we are checking the coil with the help of multimeter. We have set the multimeter on the ohm.
Let's say it now. This is really the
So basically we are checking the resistance here.
उसको बीच वाले में लगा, अरे वो वाला बीच में लगा, हाँ बीच में
पहले वाला जो shuffle करायचं आहे.
पाहिलेलं लावलं.
So we decided to put all the plugs on the bike and check, because we checked the resistance. It was showing as per the specification, and it was 0.04 ohms, and even the plug was in working condition, but when you put the plug on the bike it wasn't functioning well. So we are checking for the sparking, or for the or simply we are going to check it again on the bike. And now we are going to crank. कौन सा शॉट लगा रहा तेरे को? और इसका ये वाले का
भी बराबर है, इसका जो करंट आ रहा है वो इधर उधर लगा है.
एक मिनट देख. बस. So these are the plugs that we have taken out from the bike. So I could see clearly that this plug is different. It's an NGK plug. Other rest of so this is the different plug. Rest all are champion plugs, and even the height of the plug is the length of the plug, I would say, is also slightly more, which is actually not recommended. You can see clearly here from this angle. And these are the new plugs. These are the new NGK plugs which we have procured for this bike. So the next step is we are going to put them in the bike, in the head, and fix them, and then we are going to check the combustion. So after the thorough inspection of the coils and the plugs, we then decided to put new ignition coils. So here in front of me you will see a new ignition coil of the Benelli 600i, and here is the old one. You can clearly see the crack has formed. So this crack basically results in the leaking of current. Hence the bike wasn't performing well, or it was not revving well. So we have put all the coils, new coils on the bike, and now we are going to start the bike and check. Hello guys, so it's been a long time that the work was pending of this Benelli 600i. Like I said before, when we started working on this bike, that we were clueless. I mean, why the problem is happening with this bike. I mean, why the exhaust manifold was turning into red. There were a lot of possible reasons which I have already told you initially. So when we started working on this bike, we started with the checkup or the continuity, we started with spark plug, we started with ignition coil, we started with all the couplers fitted on this bike. Even the only sensor we checked of this bike. We have already seen that the spark plug of this bike was okay. When we tested them on the spark plug testing machine, it was working properly. Even we checked the resistance of each and every coil using the multimeter. Even the multimeter readings were perfect. After putting all those things back on the bike wasn't performing well. It was starting well, it was starting in the first cell itself, but the later it was not reading it properly. There was the pop-up from the sound, but the bike was not reading it properly. The acceleration was very poor. So we decided to check plugs and the coils again. And when we took out the coil, you have seen already, we found that the shelf, we found that the outer cover of the ignition coil had a crack. All four ignition coil had a crack. All four ignition coil outer bodies were cracked, and that was possible. That was probably the only reason why the current was leaking from the ignition coil, and that was probably the only reason. I would say the sparking was not happening at a full strength. So we decided to change. We decided to change all four spark plugs and the ignition coils, and we did that. You have seen just now, and we have installed everything back. We have already tested the bike. We have already started the bike. Bike was running absolutely fine. There was no popping. There was no heating of the engine, and even the revving was very smooth. So I'm just going to start the bike again just for you guys, so you can hear the exhaust note of this bike. Yeah, it is back to normal. So the work has been done on this bike. We finally found the issue. That was the ignition coil and the plugs. We have replaced all the ignition coil, we have replaced all the plugs. And since we opened the tank, the fuel filter was never replaced. So we decided to replace fuel filter also. So even the fuel filter is also new on this bike. And that's it. I think rest everything was checked and rectified. And there was no much issue on this. There was no much issue in this bike. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you have not subscribed to this channel, I request you to please do it. If you have any doubts, any comments, please write down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.